I really like Kelsey Pope, and I really like Kelsey Pope today more than I did just a couple of days ago. Made a couple of phone calls. I knew that he was going to be on the podium. So I want to get into 4 downs right now. I want to talk about Tennessee's wide receiver coach that I questioned at first, but now I've completely changed my mindset on him with Caleb Calhoun. I'm Dave Hooker. 4 downs now brought to you by Dynasty Pools and Spas.
4 Downs brought to you by Dynasty Spas, the most comfortable spas made in the United States of America, right here in East Tennessee. Drop in for the all-new showroom in Athens. Dynasty Spas, perfect for all 4 seasons. 4 Downs, presented by Off the Hook Sports.
All righty, so let me start with this. Cooper Mays is going to hop in the spa with us. And Cooper, what should people do?
Cooper Mays here. Hit like and subscribe.
He said it. Do it now. By the way, great reaction to those that super subscribed the other day because Caleb doubted it and you just came through like a champ. First down, Coop.
Coop here. First down.
Where does Pope rank among Tennessee's assistant coaches, Caleb, on the field? The production from his guys.
I mean, I got to go second. Yeah, I got to go second. Only to Rodney Garner and what he does on the defensive line. I think Kelsey Pope is second. We're talking about a guy who turned Cedric Tillman into an NFL draft pick when he was a 2-star who had like a total of like 5 catches his whole career. We're talking about a guy who turned Jalin Hyatt into a Biletnikoff Award winner. I mean, yeah, he's second to only Rodney Garner. This dude, and he's young. I mean, he's a rising superstar in college football coaching.
And I'm going to get into this later. We're also talking about a guy who had a slot receiver shoved down his throat when everybody knew that he wasn't a slot receiver, and that's Dante Thornton. But we'll talk about that more here in just a second. What down, Coop?
Cooper Mays here. Second down.
All right. What do you make of him off the field as a recruiter? And as a guy that's a pillar of corporate culture, and I'm going to explain what that means. It might have sounded goofy initially.
A pillar of corporate culture.
Let's say team culture. So it's something, isn't it? I think that he kept Dante Thornton from going into the tank last year. I think that he took Squirrel White, who was already very confident, made him even more confident going into last year, and made him okay with the fact that Thornton was taking some of his snaps. I think he has kept guys like that have been injured at the top of their game and involved, from the people I talked to, involved with the team. I think what he's done for team culture has been incredibly good, and I think recruiting has been incredibly good.
I think he has been amazing at taking players under his wing off the field. And we know this because, by the way, he was an off-field assistant, quite honestly, back in the day. So, this isn't anything new to him. I mean, he was an off-the-field assistant coach. And, I think he's done a tremendous job, quite honestly, at dealing with that. You talk about Dante Thornton, we'll get to, but I have a hunch Cedric Tillman didn't want to stay in the program. I mean, he commits to Jeremy Pruitt. He labors on the bench for 3 years as a 2-star, and then he's got to go through a coaching change. Dave, there was probably a 100% chance Cedric Tillman was transferring until Kelsey Pope started working with him. Is that fair to say? And Kelsey Pope wasn't even the receivers coach at that point. He was an all-field assistant, but he's the one who scouted and discovered Tillman. I can't speak enough on Cedric Tillman with that. I mean, that's all Kelsey Pope, isn't it?
Well, whatever he did, putting his arm around Jalin Hyatt worked, because Jalin Hyatt admitted that he didn't work hard, and then he did, and he won the Biletnikoff Award. So you deserve some sort of motivation for that. It's not all just fundamentals and footwork.
No, it's not. It's not. You're right. He deserves a huge plus for that. It's getting guys to work hard. It's motivating players. It's getting people to understand what their roles are and how this can be good for them. So, I think in terms of working with players, I can't speak highly enough of Kelsey Pope. I don't think there is a better person for this job than Kelsey Pope. And that sounds crazy, but Dave, is it really out of left field to say that?
No, I don't think so. I'm going to ask third down because I'm going to admit that I was wrong. And I was also wrong because I can't get this stupid Patreon page down. Okay, there. Third down there, Coop.
Tennessee center Cooper Mays here. Third down.
All right. What did you legitimately think when he was hired? Was that Tennessee just settling for somebody in-house, or did you think they made a great hire at the time? Because I will admit, I thought they settled for somebody in-house, and I wondered if they had the panache coming off 1 year under Heupel to go out and say, I want you because you're special. They may not have had that, but as it turns out, they may have had somebody special in the fold already.
I thought that it actually showed more than anything Josh Heupel's confidence in himself. And because that was really the first staff change they made.
To a fault at times.
Oh, yeah. Don't get me wrong. He does this to a fault. But I have covered enough Tennessee coaches before that. And I tried to make a big deal out of every splash hire they made. And I started to realize that more often than not, Dave, splash assistant hires are about the head coach's own insecurities than they are anything else. I mean, I saw enough of that through Butch Jones's tenure to realize, oh, he's making these hires as names for himself because he doesn't think himself as the coach can do the job. Josh Heupel's thoughts are, staff doesn't matter. I'm the head coach. I'll fill these roles.
Steven's throwing heat today. He says with his age, they need to get ahead of the curve and make him passing game coordinator or something like that. Now, they did give him a raise and extension. They doubled his pay for the upcoming year. So that's a big thing that happened a little less than a week ago. But I'm totally fine with them making him passing game coordinator, giving him a title. And this means more to assistant coaches than you think. You know, there are a lot of assistant coaches that wanted that assistant or associate head coaching role, even though they didn't do anything different, Caleb. But they wanted that because it looks better on a resume. It is a big deal. So making him the passing game coordinator may be the equivalent to him of a fairly significant raise, but he already got his pay doubled, so it's obvious that they like him.
Yeah, obviously. And I think, by the way, I'll bring this up. Guys, I don't sleep on the idea that Kelsey Pope may not be in line to be the next offensive coordinator under Joey Halzle. I mean, if again, Joey Halzle right now is not a hot commodity because of this past year. We all think that was because of the quarterback more than anything else, but we don't have to belabor that point. I think Dave has made his point on that. But I do think that if Nico does what I think he's going to do, you might see Halzle get a call in a couple of years, and at which point he probably does promote Kelsey Pope. I think Kelsey Pope is in line. We're
going to make this a lot more difficult. What down are we on here? Because we're going to make this even more difficult. What do you think of his future? And we're going to compare him to some of the other coaches. I'm going to start with this, and it's 4 Downs brought to you by Dynasty Pools and Spas. Let's consider Josh Heupel, the quarterback's coach, okay? Not Halzle, not Alex Skolish, okay? He's the quarterback's coach. So who's done the best with their talent? Is it Rodney Garner? Is it Josh Heupel? Is it Kelsey Pope? That's going to be 4th down, and I'm going to make a strong argument. It's the youngest of the crew and the one you wouldn't pick right after this. Dynasty Pools and Spas. Tell them Off the Hook Sports sent you. Get $500 off. Guys, it's Kelsey Pope. Here, you know, the best thing about Dynasty Pools and Spas is that they've got it all taken care of. What does that mean? Well, you stop by their showroom and check out their fantastic selection of top-notch spas in that showroom in Athens. Make your pick and get ready, because Dynasty Pools and Spas delivers within 125 miles of that location in Athens, that fantastic showroom. They've got the cover lift, steps, chemicals, and everything you need. Delivery at no extra charge. They're just down the road in Athens. You pick the spa you want, and it'll be there for you. Oftentimes discounted with military and first responders discounts. Also blemish bottles, or just mention Off the Hook Sports. That's Off the Hook Sports for $500 off. There's a discount for you on spas made right here in East Tennessee. Support local. Dynasty Pools and Spas also has the best chemicals for you and your spa and your pool. No fillers, just the chemicals made right here in East Tennessee. Support local. Dynasty Pools and Spas $500 off if you mention Off the Hook Sports. $500 off if you mention Off the Hook Sports. Dynasty Pools and Spas, dynastypoolsandspas.com.
All SEC center Cooper Mays here. 4th down.
Kelsey Pope is Tennessee's most successful position coach since Josh Heupel arrived at Tennessee, and that includes Josh Heupel as the quarterback's coach, and that includes Rodney Garner as the defensive line coach. Prove me wrong, Caleb Calhoun, and the message board now, please.
You know, I again, the word reflexively again. I reflexively said Rodney Garner because of his recruiting and his reputation. But Dave, I'm having a hard time disagreeing with you when I actually look at the actual production on the field. I'm going to go Rodney Garner for this reason. I think Kelsey Pope has a much easier job than Rodney Garner does coaching receivers. I think a lot more is put on Rodney Garner to get the defensive line to do what it needs to do in a system hell-bent on making quarterbacks and receivers look amazing as they are. So I think that's a lot of it. I think Rodney Garner is partially coaching with a hand tied behind his back. And so I think because of that, I'm still going to say Rodney Garner does a better job just making the defensive line serviceable, given the tempo they have to run.
Okay. Stevens, I want to address a couple things on the message board and then tell you why you're wrong. I'm kidding. Steven says, well, even if it is Pope, doesn't Hype get credit for that? Absolutely. He gets credit for that. We're just talking about the position coach. So we're talking about Heupel is a quarterback coach. Talking about that in and of itself. I think you would all agree that Hype missed on the Hooker Milton call. And then I think he probably could have gone the Nico call a little bit sooner last year. I don't want to get caught up into that, but the quarterback play has been really awesome or really average. Now, the reason that I think Rodney Garner is a little bit below Pope, strictly from a position standpoint, he has the best player on the football team, James Pierce, okay? The best player before that was Brew McCoy. And talking to scouts, there's no comparison between the two now, okay? It's Pierce. And then Brew McCoy may go later in the first round, but it's Pierce. He might go number 1 overall. So he has more to work with. And then I'll tell you with the receivers, I'm going to defend Pope for a second. Watch me for a second here. Because Hunter says, Kelsey Pope used to be it for me, but last year was disappointing when I lost his message for wide receivers, even with how bad Joe Milton was at times.